Hey everyone, Mike DelRose here with the Mike DelRose Team in Watertown, Massachusetts. Thank you for joining me. This is a brief introduction to ShelterZoom. I stumbled upon this company a few months back in early 2018 when I was researching cryptocurrency. I absolutely love everything about cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, and the next logical progression of that was discovering how it would actually impact real estate. We're very early on in the adoption curve for blockchain technology, but having ShelterZoom as a finished standalone product that can actually change the way we do business right now in mid to late 2018 is just amazing. So I want to introduce you guys to this, and hope you'll join me in adopting it and changing the way real estate business is done. So what is it? In its most basic form, it's an offer, presentation, and acceptance platform. It utilizes revolutionary blockchain technology that's disrupting a lot of industry right now, and it makes the process of presenting offers and getting those offers accepted more transparent, efficient, and it standardizes it for everyone using the platform. ShelterZoom is based on the Ethereum blockchain. Ethereum, if you've heard of it, is one of the many predecessors to Bitcoin. Bitcoin, of course, is notorious for being volatile, making a bunch of people rich and making a lot of people lose some money. But this isn't about that. This is about the transmission of data back and forth on a secure platform, so that's what ShelterZoom does. The picture you're seeing now is actually the widget on MikeDelRose.com, our homepage. If you were to click on that widget, you'd have the ability to make an offer on any property you have an address and listing agent for. ShelterZoom was created by two people who had a strong need for it. Co-founded by Alan Ali Shahi and Chow Cheng Shorlin. These two brilliant minds came together after Chow tried to sell her family property in Australia and was just frustrated with the entire process. And Alan has been a realtor for 30 plus years, much like my father in the business here in Greater Boston, and basically said, you know what, we can do better than this. You have business enterprise, background in technology, and I'm a realtor. Let's come up with something that actually makes a difference. Just like blockchain has kind of transformed the tech sphere very quickly and exponentially, my relationship with these two was kind of happened the same way. I ended up finding ShelterZoom in a press release. I contacted the company for integration. I'm like, I want on board. The next thing I know, I'm on the phone with Alan. And, we're having a long and deep conversation about, where the shortcomings of the real estate are, how we can help buyers better, and a little bit more about the platform. The next thing I know, I'm on the phone with him, Chow, and their head architect, and we're talking about ways to integrate the product into my website and giving each other feedback on how we think this is going to revolutionize the industry. So long story short, the product is created by people who care about real estate, who understand what buyers and sellers go through, and as well as agents. They get it, and they believe in their product, and they stand by it, and they're going to continue developing that product with the effort of just changing the game. So that's why I'm supporting ShelterZoom. That's why I'm actually, creating this video today to help showcase what they do and how they do it. So for those of you curious, what is blockchain technology? I'm probably not the best person to be explaining it to you. I'm not a developer. I can't code software or even websites. I use basic HTML code on my website, and that's about it. But it's important to understand the principles behind it, and I can help you there. I recommend following up with some further research because it is very important. So blockchain, of course, is the technology, the software protocol that backs Bitcoin. It has nothing to do with Bitcoin for this purpose, where we're talking about, ShelterZoom, but it shares properties that are similar to Bitcoin. It's immutable, it's extremely secure, transparent, efficient. It allows the end users to be their own managers or banks, if you will. In this case, banks being the guardians of data and transactional data instead of financing or cash. So Bitcoin itself is a peer-to-peer cash system. For what we're talking about is simply the exchange of data and doing that in a secure and immutable and transparent environment. So if we're not doing this for finance and implementing the blockchain technology, how does it solve issues in real estate? There's many different areas that blockchain can address real estate, but for this purpose, it's the offer, presentation, and acceptance portion. That can be improved. Right now, it's extremely drawn out. There's a lot of back and forth and a lot of downtime that keeps buyers and sellers even on edge. Long periods of waiting. So we can improve that process. When you use ShelterZoom, the buyer actually sees when their offer gets presented in real time on their mobile device. We haven't seen anything like that before. We use electronic signature platforms, DocuSign, Dotloop, things that facilitate the transaction. But even then, our paperwork is still 20 to 30 years old. We simplify the process with ShelterZoom. We just take out the primary information we need, and we use that to facilitate the offer process. I think the best part about ShelterZoom is how flexible it is. The widget, a demo you're about to see, is customized by me. So I control that widget and the content on that widget. That's going to help for standardization because at least people will be familiar with the platform. Little nuances will be different depending on the market and even depending on the agent, but you have that flexibility with ShelterZoom. The other main strength of ShelterZoom has to be its mobile capabilities. While it's available on desktop and I'm doing a demo for you guys via my desktop, what it does is it puts the consumer on the go, so you don't have to be sitting in front of your email or computer waiting for an offer or that transaction to commence. We can actually, counter, we can invite more buyers, we can invite our vendors, our attorneys, anyone involved in a transaction from the mobile device, and it's extremely simple in doing so. You can also revert back to old offers in the process. So what it does is it makes things in real estate happen on the go because that's what consumers are demanding today. There are a couple different ways to implement ShelterZoom and its platform onto your website. Some are more complicated than others. There's the IDX integration method where you're going to probably need some support staff, and what they do is they come in and they make it integrate with IDX so that as you see in the picture right on your screen on the right, that's a listing page of one of our listings with the Offer Now widget on the site directly. And once you click on that link, it auto-populates with the address. So it's integrated with the IDX platform, which is great. And the other on the left side is your standalone widget. All you need is simple HTML code and your security key that says this is X agent's widget, and you can put that on any page on your website, and you can make offers on any property. As we get into the demo, you're going to see the most basic version, and all that integration is copying HTML code and basically inserting it onto your homepage. It's the easiest. I like the integration with the IDX, but if you just need to get going and you might not have the technical skills or the support staff on hand, implementing it on your homepage is absolutely fine. So let's get into that demo so you can see how it works. So here's a live demo on MikeDelRose.com. If you scroll down on our homepage, you'll actually find the freestanding widget, which means it doesn't integrate into an IDX site, and you can actually make offers on any listings, whether or not they are on the market. Useful if you have a property that's not coming on yet and someone wants to make an offer. For the purpose of the demo, we're going to do my office address at 142 Galen Street in Watertown. This is obviously not a valid offer, but we'll be entering the information anyways just to go through the process with you guys. We will make Mike Sr. the listing agent. He's actually a co-owner of the building, so that makes sense, and enter his information in. And as we get down, I'm going to be the purchaser directly. Buyers agents can use this platform too, making offers on our own listings. But for the sake of the demo and not having to add more information in, we'll just make myself the purchaser, so I'll enter my own information in. So as I finish up entering my information here, do you have a buyer's agent? Buyers can make offers directly on our listings and not have their buyer's agent do it for them if they want to be hands-on. Obviously, we don't recommend that, but they still have the ability to do so. So for this point, again, I will be the purchaser without a buyer's agent. We'll do some nice round and even numbers here to keep things simple, but this is your contract terms. I follow the standard MAR forms and GREB forms, and I just go right down the list of what it takes to complete a valid offer in Massachusetts. I'll make some nice round even numbers here. Loan type conventional with financing. And then here come all your contingency dates. It was a balance creating the widget because I want to keep things simple, but obviously for valid offers in Massachusetts, we do need all this information. So I make offers subject to a mutually agreeable purchase and sales agreement because if buyers are actually utilizing this platform on their own without any guidance off the bat, we need to be able to correct those things. Here we go with our contingencies, subject to a mutually agreeable P&S. Home sale contingencies if necessary, and entering more dates. So as I finish up with the dates here, I'm actually going to write in under additional terms that this isn't a valid offer. I think my father might actually hold me to it, but great for your escalation clauses, all appliances included, etc. The next section is really cool because the buyer or buyer's agent can upload all sorts of documents. They can be JPEG files or PDFs. I control this, so I want the buyer to know what I expect out of the final transaction as far as paperwork's concerned. It's not required though, so we can kind of do that as we go forward. Obviously an area for the lender information as well as the attorney information. Again, not required because the buyer might not know yet. But at least if they do, we can get that process started and get all these parties in touch with each other. And you'll notice here I let people know you can't have an ad blocker enabled. The technology will not work and it will be extremely frustrating. You can also edit the terms and conditions, so I have items in there like, buyer agrees to fill out paperwork if necessary, things like that. But you can run that by your attorney on what you want to have in there and what constitutes a valid offer. And the last part, it's going to display a screen that confirms the information is correct regarding cell phone numbers. This will take you to a mobile platform, which is why it's important for it to be done correctly. The buyer will receive a text message to download the app, confirm the offer, and then send it off to the listing agent and the listing side. You're able to add more parties on it, you're able to counter, go back and forth, chat with the agent, add attachments and other documents, and move forward until an offer is officially accepted. You can even generate a PDF of that final accepted offer, as well as referencing previous versions. So I know I couldn't really get into the mobile side of things, but hopefully that gave you guys a better understanding of how it works and why it's important, and you see the benefits that I see in it. It's some amazing technology. It's not that hard. It's simple. I mean, the code behind it's extremely complicated, but the basis and premise of the whole thing is pretty simple. Just making things better and more efficient to the consumer. So I know that a lot of people share those values with me that people deserve better, and we can. By adopting this platform, you guys can all make a difference in helping make real estate better for everybody. So let's talk objections. We know there's going to be some because ShelterZoom especially is a very new technology, a very new way of thinking about how the real estate offer process transpires. So let's talk about some of the main ones here. Some of the agents I've talked with don't want to relinquish control to the buyer. This I completely understand, but I also think it's an old school way of thinking of things. Before 2000, we really didn't have buyer's agency. Buyer's agency is relatively new in the real estate world. We didn't lose control of our transactions when buyer agency came about. In fact, I'm going to argue that ShelterZoom brings more control to a transaction. Whether you require offers to be presented there or giving people the option to use your own customized widget, you have control of that entire process and how your offers get presented. Another common objection I'm running into is that buyers shouldn't be making their own offers. While I understand the sentiment that a buyer who is not well versed in a real estate transaction should not be making their own offers, I'm going to argue that it's already here, and if you're not seeing it in your own marketplace, it's coming. Sites like Zillow have offer programs for people making offers on for sale by owners, and HUD properties you can make an offer direct, without the need for a real estate agent. So I think it's a common fallacy that buyers aren't making their own offers and relying on a real estate agent solely. It's here and it's coming, and as we become more consumer focused, you're going to see more and more of that. I'd rather have the technology implemented on my own website, so if a consumer is expecting such a platform and wants to submit their own offer in that regard, I'm going to have that on my website and give them the ability to do so. It's not a secret that an agent's role has transformed drastically since the age of MLS books were a thing. In this case, the internet has given consumers all the information they possibly need. That didn't eliminate our role. It actually made it stronger and clarified our role, what gives an agent value. ShelterZoom is not taking the process out of my hands and putting it into someone else's. It simply is a tool that allows me to dictate the process while being completely open and transparent at the same time to the buyer and seller's benefit. It reduces a lot of questions that come up, like, has my offer been presented? Is it secure? Am I giving you information here that could potentially harm me? So ShelterZoom is only reinforcing the current values we already have, and that's facilitating a transaction in a way that benefits everybody. And one of the last objections I've received on this is like, Mike, what do we need this platform for? We have things like dotloop and ZipLogic and DocuSign. Yes, we do have those things, but what ShelterZoom does is increases your transparency and efficiency in the offer process. So, as an agent, if you're not focused on improving that process for your buyers and sellers, I think you're crazy. You're missing out on a huge opportunity to differentiate yourself and provide a better quality service. And so that's all I have to say about the objections here, because a lot of them are coming from good places, but I think those types of objections miss the overall point, and that's providing a better quality service to your consumers. So that's really it on my end. If anyone has any questions or want to go through a demo on my own website, feel free to contact me. I'm not a hard person to track down. But if you're ready to get going, get right into it, you can visit ShelterZoom.com, and in the top right corner you'll see a sign up button. You click that, you'll come to the screen that's going to appear here, and you'll enter all your information, tell them that I sent you, and the onboarding team will get in touch with you pretty quickly to get you up and running. Thanks for listening, and good luck, and hopefully we'll have some further adoption for this amazing platform.